Hey, welcome in. Friday edition of the show. Yay, we made it to the weekend. Getting ready to start. Waiting for the intro music. I'll start with Israel and then branch off into some local headlines and some other national headlines. So thanks for joining us. Appreciate it very much. When you do this job long enough, there are days that a headline jumps out at you that impacts you in a way that goes beyond the normal disappointment and disgust when bad news happens around the world. Today is one of those days with the revelation, not as if we needed a new revelation, as to how evil Hamas is. We saw the way that the Hamas terrorists celebrated the deaths of a 4-year-old and a 9-month-old baby, whom they have contended were killed in an Israeli airstrike. We now know that's a lie. We know that Hamas were supposed to return the body of the young boy's mother. I shared with you yesterday that the coffins that supposedly the mother and the 2 boys were in were locked, and the keys that were given to the Red Cross did not open the coffins. And what we've since found out, since we left the air yesterday at 1 o'clock, is that the coffin that was supposed to contain the mother did not contain the mother. It contained a Gazan woman, and there is only one reason why it would not contain the body of the boy's mother, because of the unspeakably horrific things that Hamas did to her when they murdered her. We could be talking about many more casualties in Israel today, because last night, thankfully, a coordinated terrorist attack, which was meant to inflict hundreds of deaths on 5 buses in cities in Israel, failed. 2 of the bus bombs failed to detonate. 3 of them detonated, but the buses were empty. Israeli officials said that had the bombs exploded when the buses were populated, it would have killed hundreds of civilians. And thankfully, one alert passenger on one of the buses noticed a suspicious package, alerted the driver. Everyone was quickly evacuated. The bomb squad was called, and that bus and the 2 others where bombs were located were not able to enact the kind of mass killing that Hamas inflicted on October the 7th. That is when they took the 2 little boys hostage. That is when they took their mom hostage. And their father hostage too. The father has been returned. He is now faced with a life where he will deal with the kind of grief that all of us hope to avoid in our own lives. The death of a child is the cruelest fate a person can suffer. The father suffered it twice in this instance. Also the loss of a spouse, which is very difficult. And he will know forever that his wife quite likely experienced, eyewitnessed the murder of their children, and that she then was quite likely violated in ways that are beyond our comprehension. I've said since this Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th that I don't see any way that Hamas can be allowed to exist going forward into the future. Some of you criticize me for that, saying that, there's redemption for everyone. True. Can't dispute that. These people appear to be beyond redemption. I know. The words aren't even out of my mouth, and I realize no one is. I have no words. for this level of depravity. Here is U.S. official Adam Bowler talking about what would be, in his estimation, appropriate for Hamas in the wake of this latest horrific disclosure of what these terrorists are capable of.
Is that the governor?
Oh, wait a second. That's Donald. Sorry, that's Donald Trump. I had my cursor on the wrong screen. Here is Adam Bowler talking about Hamas.
It's a clear violation. And if I have one piece of advice for Hamas now, it's not only do you need to release her body immediately. If I were them, I'd release everybody, or they're going to face total annihilation right now.
He's talking about Shiri Bibas. That's the mom, 32 years old. Her 4-month-old little boy, her 4-year-old little boy. And one of the stories that I read today about this, put it into a perspective. You know, we can cognitively know what these kids went through, but think these kids will never ride a bike. They'll never go to school. They'll never obviously get married. Their lives were stolen from them. They're innocent. Children are trusting. They are conditioned to trust adults. They would have had no way of knowing the level of depravity and the people who took them hostage on October the 7th. All they would have known is the terror that their mother was reflecting as they were taken hostage. We don't know how they died, but we know that they were among 251 people who were taken hostage that day, and 12 of those 251 were Americans, and 5 still remain at the mercy of Hamas. I don't think they'll ever let all of these hostages go. I don't think they'll ever return the bodies of all the hostages they have already killed. I don't know what the solution is, except that long term, I totally agree with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said even before he knew that Shiri Bibas, the 32-year-old mom, was not in the coffin that she was supposed to be in. Rubio said, Hamas is not a government. It is simply an ideological movement of evil, terrible people. The idea that Hamas would ever be allowed to continue to have arms, to be militarized, and to control territory anywhere in the world is unfathomable. Thinking about the fact that they went in, Rubio still continuing, thinking about the fact that they went in, grabbed this family, this young woman with her 2 infant children, and they died in their captivity. Who does that? Who kidnaps families? And the way they were released with people cheering in the streets. Yeah, little kids cheering too. This is why you can't eradicate this just by killing the adults, by resettling them. I'm not sure that their minds are beyond being programmed. I saw videos yesterday of young women, 20 years old, taking down posters of the Bibas children in American cities and Jewish neighborhoods, responding with vitriol and hatred when people asked them what they were doing. The longer this goes on, the danger is we forget how horrific it is, and we must never forget how horrific it is. And I think that we have to do the hard thing here. We have to support the utter annihilation and eradication of Hamas from this earth. There were thankfully Islamic leaders around the world yesterday who condemned this action. It was roundly criticized and condemned by world leaders. As you would expect, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, chief among them. Here was his initial reaction to what took place with the IDF discovering that these 2 boys were murdered and that the mom was not in the coffin that she was supposed to be in.
Today is a tragic day. It's a day of boundless sorrow, of indescribable pain. 4-year-old Ariel Bibas, his baby brother, 1-year-old Kfir, and 84-year-old Oded Lifshitz were brutally murdered by Hamas savages. Their bodies returned home to a nation in mourning, a nation that will never forget and never forgive the evil that cut down these beautiful souls. Since that black day on October 7th, when Hamas butchered and burned 1,200 of our families and friends, Israel waited with bated breath, hoping beyond hope that our hostages would survive the Hamas hell. Against all odds, we succeeded to bring many home. Some we rescued, some we tragically couldn't.
And so we'll see what happens from here on out with the second phase of the ceasefire. I mean, they violated the ceasefire. They violated the ceasefire on October 7th. They violated the terms of this latest ceasefire by not returning the bodies of the people that they kidnapped, but substituting someone else in as a way to hide, to conceal the level of despicable acts that they visited upon this mom before she succumbed to the pain and torture that Hamas subjected her to. This is a really, really bad day, a bad result, and I just don't have words for it.
Periods of clouds and sun this afternoon. Chilly day. Our high today only 29. Partly cloudy, frigid night tonight with the low at 12. And then clouds and sun. Chilly day tomorrow, the high 34. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, cold, low 18. And then partly cloudy for the day on Sunday, the high near 40. Clouds and breezy on Monday. High Monday at 48. And then cloudy with a bit of rain for us on Tuesday. On Tuesday, near 50. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley with exciting news from MyPillow. They are having their first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. You can save 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen sizes start at $59.98. King size starts at $69.98. You can also save 30% on the brand new My Crosses. These are designed in the likeness of the one Mike has worn every day for over 20 years. Yes, they come in men's and women's, and they are made right here in the USA. You can also get a 2025 six-piece My Towel set for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they're gone. And the best-selling standard My Pillow, it's just $14.98. To take advantage of the first ever mega sale, go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. That's mypillow.com and use the promo code Bruce. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have to order $75 or more to get free shipping. Nope, that ship has sailed, because right now every order ships absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Bruce.
Here's great news. If you're planning to attend Valor Christian College as a new student this fall semester, you can receive a $5,000 tuition scholarship for only $2,500. That's right, $2,500 off your first semester for all new students. One scholarship per student. All Valor Christian College admission requirements must be met. Whether you're interested in preparing to enter ministry or want to delve deeper into God's calling on your life, Valor Christian College in Canal Winchester may be for you. To learn more, click on shopping at 9890answer.com.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing conservative TV network.
It's an absolute crazy day.
Home to the largest lineup of free speech champions anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free, 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Pluto TV.
You can hear this today at PregerTopia.com.
My question is, do you feel that basically most people are selfish?
Is human nature selfish is one question, and are most people selfish is another question. Human nature morally stinks.
Day to day, I think people tend to kind of...
The mother of two toddlers, also murdered by Hamas terrorists, was not actually her. A forensic analysis was not even...
It's for Pregertopia members only. Go to Pregertopia.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and thinks they deserve compensation, give us a call right now, 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Well, somebody's been listening to me, because I got a notice this morning that the Temperature Pro furnaces that have been on sale for half off in the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com, that somebody took advantage and purchased one of them. So Temperature Pro has one left, 92% efficient, perfect for a home, 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, and you will get it with a bargain price of $2,000. Now, this furnace, extremely energy efficient. It converts 92% of its fuel directly into heat in your home. It comes in a slim 21-inch cabinet, so if you got tight spaces, do not worry. Temperature Pro can fit it in there, and it comes with a 10-year parts and a lifetime heat exchanger warranty. So this is just one of the many items that we have on sale in the Discount Shopping Club for half off. Mac Mattress Outlet, kind enough to be a partner in the Discount Shopping Club, and other vendors as well. Check it all out, 989theanswer.com. The Israeli Defense Forces are now saying that the two young Beavis children in Israel were murdered by Hamas terrorists with their bare hands, and that Hamas took steps to try to cover it up. But the forensic analysis reveals how the boys died, and they also revealed, of course, that the one of the other coffins did not contain the 32-year-old mother of these two children. The father had been released before. Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli prime minister, talking about the two Beavis children and how they symbolize this battle between good, which is Israel, and evil, which is Hamas.
The Beavis children in particular became the symbol of who we are and who we're fighting against. Here's a photo of the Beavis brothers. These perfect children again were 4 years old and less than 1 year old when the Hamas savages snatched them from their mother's arms. She fought like a lioness to protect her boys. Just imagine their horror. Imagine their confusion. Perfect little children who never hurt a soul. A baby, for the love of God. They languished in captivity until Hamas murdered them in cold blood. Who kidnaps a little boy and a baby and murders them? Monsters, that's who. These Hamas monsters also cynically refused to bring back the boy's mother, Shiri, and sent the body of a Gazan woman instead, in brazen violation of the agreement.
Now, will we hear anything out of any of the squad members, or Ayanna Presley, AOC, Ilhan Omar, any of them? Will they answer any questions? No, they won't answer any questions. They won't make any statement condemning this horrific act. They'll walk away if they're even accosted or stopped on the street by anybody asking them about these atrocities. Nor will they have anything to say about religious persecution around the world against this backdrop of yesterday's horrific celebration of these two little boys' death by Hamas children and others. You want to know why Jordan and Egypt don't want any of these people, these quote-unquote refugees, in their country? They're not refugees. They've been in Gaza for 20 years. Hamas has taken every ounce of aid, every ounce of money, every last cent, and poured it into weapons and enriching its own leaders, not serving its own people, using its own people as human shields. They're not refugees. But against that backdrop, we found out yesterday, the worldwide Christian group Open Doors, which supports persecuted Christians around the world, disclosed yesterday that the Islamic forces in the Republic of Congo beheaded 70 Christians last week. They had taken 20 men and women captive. They came back, kidnapped 50 more Christians in a village in the Congo, and took them to a church where they were beheaded. Have you seen this on the news? No, of course not. You have not seen it on the news. Have you seen members of the squad or other Democrats condemning this? No, of course not. Here is a comment from a politician in Hungary. Hungary stands in solidarity with the persecuted Christians, but we need more. The world needs to recognize these actions of Christian persecution. The International Christian Concern president, his name is Jeff King, said this massacre where 70 Christians lost their lives is not an isolated incident, but part of a grim tapestry of violence that has claimed over 6 million lives in the Democratic Republic of the Congo over 2 decades of an on and off war. The vast majority of the Democratic Republic of Congo residents are Christians, so this is a religious genocide carried out by radical Islamic terrorists. And this is, even though we've lost kind of sight of it, the danger in the overrunning of our border by people we cannot identify, people who were allowed to come into this country, encouraged to come into this country, lured into this country by the kind of feckless border policies, looking the other way, facilitating it with the CBP-1 app and others of the Biden administration. This kind of mass killing is something that we tend to not think about much happening in our country because, well, Donald Trump is president. He's closing the border down. But the people who are already here are people who pose a grave danger to the United States. And I don't think they came and are giving up now just because Trump is president, just because Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, and Stephen Miller and others are prioritizing ending illegal immigration. There's a story today that the Haitians in Springfield have had their temporary protected status, which was open-ended, or essentially so, under Biden, supposed to continue until 2026. And I think Biden thought Kamala Harris would win and she would just extend it. The 13,000 to 15,000 Haitian immigrants in Springfield now have been put on notice by Kristi Noem that their quote unquote temporary protected status in Springfield will end in August. And so I don't know how they'll respond. Haiti is a country that is really a super dangerous place. It's corrupt. We've poured millions into that country in terms of aid from the United States in the wake of the earthquake in 2010. But also, if you're going to come to the United States of America, you have to assimilate into the United States of America, into its culture, into its values. If you want to maintain a separate society, that's just not going to work. When the Democrats say we're a nation of immigrants, we are a nation of immigrants. But the difference between immigration in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and immigration now is that now we have pockets of major American cities that are populated by immigrants who come in and maintain the culture of the country they came from rather than adopting and assimilating into American cultures and values. You cannot have a country that way. You cannot. And so I'm not sure what will happen in Springfield. I'm not sure if ICE will make, my guess is they'll make a public showing of their seriousness in this matter. But just keep in mind and stay alert that these issues that have happened around the world in Israel and the Congo, these are not issues that are off the table for our own country.
News, I'm Rich Thomason. The FBI is getting a new director after winning Senate confirmation yesterday. Today, Kash Patel is being sworn in. Democrats didn't have the votes to scuttle his confirmation, although they did try. Used home sales slipped a bit last month, down from December, dragged lower by rising mortgage rates combined with higher prices. White House advisor Stephen Miller is touting a 95% reduction in monthly illegal border crossings since President Trump returned to the White House just last month. Israel says a body, supposedly that of an Israeli hostage returned by Hamas, was not that of an Israeli mother of 2 young boys. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu calls it a cruel and malicious violation of the Gaza ceasefire, and he says it will be avenged. On Wall Street, the Dow down 378 points. More details at srnnews.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-613-5454. 800-613-5454. 800-613-54.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
Attention. If you or your business is behind in filing your tax returns, or if you owe over $20,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The IRS does not joke around and will not stop their collection efforts. If you're tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments and would like to get a fresh start, BC Tax can help. Due to the financial hardships in the country, the IRS is making it easier than ever to settle tax problems for those who owe more than $20,000. BC Tax can help settle your delinquent tax problems, end all collections, and may even reduce your back taxes significantly. Even if you can't afford to pay your back taxes, you can still get the help you need. We've helped thousands of taxpayers just like you, but you must call 800-214-3995 today to stop your tax problem from getting worse. The information is free and the help is real. Call BC Tax at 800-214-3995. 800-214-3995. Again, 800-214-3995.
This is Josh Pick with the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show. The thing that I hear most often in meetings is, what do I do when it seems like stocks and bonds are getting crushed, rates at the bank are abysmal, and inflation is at 40-year highs? Well, you're not alone, and there are better options. Did you know that you can lock in darn near double-digit returns in a positive market while simultaneously accepting zero downside risk? Learn more about ideas like this and many other ways to improve your financial situation by listening to the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
He's an honors graduate of Harvard and the School of North, a proud Buckeye from Warren, Ohio, and the husband of the fetching Mrs. Hewitt. He's Hugh Hewitt, weekday afternoons from 3 to 5 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
If you are looking for new flooring for your home, I hope you will look first at brucehooley.com and click the flooring tab. That will give me your information if you fill out the form, and allow me to come out to your house, measure your space, and chat with you about the products that I can help beautify your home with. That includes beautiful new carpet from all the major manufacturers. And also, I think we have 7 or 8 different lines now of luxury vinyl plank flooring. It looks like wood's waterproof, scratch-proof, perfect for any home, any design. That's also a good idea, is to bring your designer into the conversation. If you'd like to do that, we can make that happen. We have our own installers, so the products are installed to manufacturer specifications and in a way that you will love from the very beginning, and we will save you money because we do not have high overhead or a high retail location. Direct to you, brucehooley.com, click flooring. That is brucehooley.com, click flooring. So we got Kash Patel confirmed as the new FBI director. This very, very big concern of Democrats. They don't like Kash Patel because Kash Patel called them out on their utter nonsense with the Mueller investigation. Kash Patel is the guy who exposed that. He's the guy who exposed Adam Schiff as a liar. Here are two of the Democratic bootlicks who voted against Kash Patel, but he was confirmed yesterday, 52-48. Here is Richard Blumenthal and Sheldon Whitehouse, probably nervous because Kash Patel might be looking at them if they step out of line.
My Republican colleagues are going to rue the day.
No, they're not.
They're going to be haunted by this vote.
Nope.
When Kash Patel implements his enemies list,
no,
they're going to hope they're not on it.
Kash Patel has proven himself to be a wildly vindictive partisan. Donald Trump. Kash Patel has proved himself to be a sycophantic suck-up.
Yeah, well, you ought to know Sheldon Whitehouse. You're one of the most crooked members of the Senate that there is, and Richard Blumenthal is well documented, been guilty of stolen valor and exaggerating his military career. So Kash Patel is now the nation's top cop, and I would certainly believe Trey Gowdy a lot more about Kash Patel than I would either Richard Blumenthal, Sheldon Whitehouse, or any Democrat.
Kash Patel is going to let good cops, emphasis good cops, be cops. The FBI is going to stop me. You don't talk about evil. What's evil is a man in Lexington buying a gun and driving to Mother Emanuel Church and executing non-black Christians because the FBI botched the background check. What's evil is USA Gymnastics and allowing little girls to be sexually abused and it not being investigated. What's evil is missing the tip in the Parkland High School shooting and letting students be killed. So if you want to talk about evil, that's the old FBI administration. Don't tell me that Kash Patel is evil when you've done what you've done for the last decade.
Well said by Trey Gowdy. Now here locally, Franklin County Prosecutor Shayla Favor, who I have warned you, if you were a police officer, get off the force, move to the suburbs, find another job. Shayla Favor is not interested in prosecuting crime. Shayla Favor is interested in prosecuting you. And I think that comes across in what appears to be her first big hire in the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. Now, if you were going to be the prosecuting attorney for Franklin County and you had to outfit your staff with other people who would be skilled at prosecuting crimes, what kind of attorney would you be looking for? I would be looking for somebody who had a long and fresh history of prosecutorial experience. Shayla Favor, it appears, according to Bethany Bruner's story in the Columbus Dispatch, has hired Robert Krapenk, age 61, who has worked in private practice as a defense attorney for 20 years. He is currently representing somebody in Franklin County Common Pleas Court who is accused of a double murder. Now, I'm not saying that Mr. Krapenk is incapable of prosecuting criminals, because certainly he knows his way around the court system, and you might say, well, this is an out-of-the-box hire because this guy, he's for 2 decades listened to and put forward defenses of people who are accused of heinous crimes, and so he's got the book on how people approach it, and that'll make him a great prosecuting attorney. You can take that view if you want to. I just don't happen to share it. I think if you spend time originally as a prosecutor, which he did, and then you spend the next 20 years in private practice representing accused criminals charged with the worst crimes possible, I'm going to question whether or not you've now decided to join the right side of the equation, or whether you will bring to the office the exact same attitude that Shayla Favor brings to the office, which is that you are most likely the victim of some kind of nefarious scheme by police if you've been charged with a crime. I know everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but I also know that the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office under Gary Tyack has far too often exonerated people before they were ever charged with crimes that the investigating officers had very strong cases against those criminals. I have heard this frustration from various police officers and various detectives in the city. That the prosecutor's office is far too willing to embrace self-defense or to plead down charges rather than to pursue the kinds of charges against people that they deserve to be charged with. So a couple of the cases that Mr. Krapank has done before, he has assisted in the defense of a guy by the name of Michael Slager, who in 2017 poured gasoline on his estranged girlfriend and lit her on fire. You don't have to take the case, you know. He has defended a person named Christopher Garrett, who received a death penalty, so Krapping lost that case in 2018, for killing his ex-girlfriend and the couple's 4-year-old daughter. Lovely. So I'm just telling you, crime in Franklin County is going to get worse with Shayla Faber on the job. It's going to get worse. Now, they had a big meeting last night out in Madison County where the residents are upset about a proposed facility called a biodigester. I've talked about this with you before with Brendan Shea, Madison County Commissioner, who's phenomenal. Brendan Shea is a commissioner who's standing up for the people in Madison County, the farmers in Madison County. There are a lot of people who would like a rural area to stay rural. I know you got, if you're out in Licking County, Orange Township, you got your rural lifestyle sold out from under you by Mike DeWine and the Jobs Ohio people with the Intel project. And believe me, there are Madison County commissioners who would have no problem with turning Madison County into another non-rural area. And the biodigester is something that Vanguard, big company Vanguard Renewables, they're going to truck in liquid manure from farms and food waste, and they're going to dump it, many trucks daily, into essentially a big cement pit. And then they're going to cover this and capture the noxious gases that emanate from it in order to make RNG, which stands for renewable natural gas. So this is a big green energy initiative. And it was all done on the quiet, and then Madison County residents found out about it, and 150 of them showed up last night at West Jefferson High School to indicate their almost universal opposition to this. Okay, but somebody's getting rich off of this. And it's interesting, like Bill Gates has a big presence out in Madison County. He's got a big solar farm that he's trying to get approved. The Ohio Power Siting Board has greenlit that. Brendan Shea has, now that he's become a Madison County Commissioner in January, has been fighting against that. Mr. Shea said this of the biodigester: "We are not supportive of this. We think it's in a bad location. It's right next to a number of homes." Yeah, what do you think happens to your property values when you build a nice home on a fairly decent sized piece of land out in the country, and then some big green energy company comes along and they build a bunch of new roads and populate those roads with belching trucks filled with liquid manure, and they dump it in your backyard to capture renewable natural gas. This is a boondoggle, in my opinion. I would not want it in my backyard. I don't blame these folks for not wanting it in their backyard. And thankfully, we have a few politicians who are standing strong against it.
Sun this afternoon, chilly day. Our high today only 29. Partly cloudy, frigid 9 to light with the low at 12. And then clouds and sun, chilly day tomorrow, the high 34. For tomorrow night, partly cloudy, cold, low 18. And then partly cloudy for the day on Sunday, the high near 40. Clouds and breezy on Monday, high Monday at 48. And then cloudy with a bit of rain for us on Tuesday, high Tuesday near 50. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I take care of my whole house, 2-story. I live alone. I shop, I drive, and for 94, people say, "No way, are you 94?" And doing all of this, I just started on Balance of Nature. I got, you can say, hooked on them.
Even though I'm 73 years old, Balance of Nature still works for you. You know, to me it was right, and that's what I did. You know, I feel better when I take it. I'm telling you what, I wouldn't give it up for nothing.
Start your journey with Balance of Nature supplements today. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set. Don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Mike G.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley, and here's a term we've all heard before, right? Misinformation. Well, misinformation is not exactly what you think it is, but it is when it comes to people who tell you, oh, you're just getting older, so you're going to have to deal with that pain. Not true. That's misinformation. QC Kinetics, my friends in Dublin and Gahanna, the people who are pioneering advanced biologic treatment for your joint pain. They can help you get out of pain, and that is not misinformation because thousands of people in Columbus have taken advantage of the leadership of Dr. Ray Tessner, the founder of Grant Sports Medicine. He is a classically trained orthopedic surgeon, and he can help you get out of pain at QC Kinetics. Call for their free, no-obligation consultation to see if it'll work for you. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Walk in pain, walk out with relief. Rehab, what rehab? Go to qckinetics.com or call 380-208-4544.
There's a threat targeting America: Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
MyPillow.com mega sale affords you the opportunity to get MyPillow products at their lowest prices ever, including a queen-size set of Giza Dream bed sheets for $59.98. That's a real bargain. Wait a minute, $49.98. I was wrong. I was looking at the king-size price. Imagine that. Giza Dream bed sheets made from the world's best cotton. You can get them in flannel if you would like them. It'd be almost new. Next year, you might use them a time or two because the temperatures are going to start to get warmer. Standard MyPillow, $14.88. Queen and king size pillows, under $20. MyPillow towel sets. Are your towels getting raggedy, not absorbent? Maybe you have a wedding coming up. Maybe you'd like to send something back to college with your student when they come home on spring break. Fresh towels, that would be a nice touch. MyPillow.com allows you to get the 6-piece towel set for under $30. All these prices are available only if you use my promo code Bruce at MyPillow.com. Somebody asked me the other day out by where I live if I was ever going to run for public office. I don't know what possessed them to ask me that, but I said no. Well, I mean, I'm on the school board, but I don't consider that to be like public office. They were talking about like state senator or state representative or congressman, and I'm like, no, because I didn't get into it early enough. And it is, I mean, all you got to do is look at the state of Ohio and how guys get elected to a statewide office, then they're term limited, then they run for another statewide office. I mean, it's a shell game, really. They're just moving around. What is it our friend Matt Mayer calls them? Chessboard men or something like that. They just move around spots on the chessboard. One of those is Republican U.S. Representative Troy Balderson, who I do not know very well, except I know he's kind of a buffoon. He represents central and southeastern Ohio counties, Licking, Fairfield, parts of Delaware County. He had the stupidest campaign commercial I've ever heard. And my guess is Mr. Balderson will be backing away from comments that he made at the Westerville Area Chamber of Commerce, because he's not a consequential congressman at all, not like Jim Jordan, not like James Comer. But Balderson, apparently at this Westerville Area Chamber luncheon on Thursday, said that Donald Trump's flurry of executive orders are, quote, getting out of control. That's really stupid. If you are a Republican congressman and you decide you're going to say something about the president of the United States who is highly popular with Republican voters, that's a really good way to get primaried. Not by me, but by somebody. Stupid. We've got a lot of really good politicians here. Maybe Beth Lear would run against Troy Balderson. Maybe Michelle Reynolds would run against Troy Balderson. I'm not sure where they live or whether they could replace him, but we'd be much better off if we got rid of Troy Balderson and got somebody in there who didn't go in front of a woke Westerville Chamber of Commerce and say something stupid like that. Now they are, as you know, as reported here often, very upset at Ohio State, the faculty and the students, about Senate Bill 1, which is the Jerry Serino bill that's passed the Ohio Senate, is going to the Ohio House, and will definitely pass the Ohio House, which will insist upon academic integrity at Ohio State. And if you're forced to read the editorial page of the Columbus Dispatch, as I am, so that you don't have to, you will notice that there is a concerted effort being undertaken by the kinds of people they have writing about Senate Bill 1, which tells you that Senate Bill 1 is a good bill, because all the people who oppose it are people you would not want to be aligned with politically. The latest is Pedro S. Pereira, who is an associate professor of Portuguese at Ohio State University. Yes. You can apparently major in Portuguese at Ohio State University. What's the utility of that? I cannot venture a guess. Mr. Pereira says he worries that if Senate Bill 1 becomes law, Ohio will cease to be an attractive state to pursue a college degree in. I bet not. I bet, Professor Pereira, that if Senate Bill 1 passes, we will not see an appreciable decline in the enrollment at Ohio State University. Just going out on a limb there, since I went there in the 1980s, and the enrollment has increased or maintained itself almost every year. He is very upset, Mr. Pereira, that he and other professors and students went to the State House to campaign and speak against this bill. And he says that if it passes, Ohio will no longer be able to attract brilliant students and faculty from all over the world. Any evidence of that? No, just your own crazed opinion. He says the proponents of Senate Bill 1 are not interested in the welfare of Ohio public universities or our state's success in the knowledge economy. Now, in case you forgot, Senate Bill 1 is a bill that requires balanced teaching of ideas and stresses the importance of civics so that students understand how the United States government works. And that apparently is scary to Professor Pereira and his counterparts. He says state legislators are, quote, falsely claiming that professors are indoctrinating students at public universities. What would possibly give us that idea? People who gathered on the South Oval to voice their support for Hamas? The fact that the overwhelming number of faculty at Ohio State donate politically to Democratic causes and not to Republican causes? Would we be out of line to think that maybe, since it's like a 85-15 or an 80-20 breakdown, supporters of conservatives versus supporters of liberal among Ohio State faculty members indicate that there is a bias out there in how faculty members view the world? I can't imagine how you don't see what the rest of us clearly see. He says, I don't know how we will be able to recruit the brightest students to our excellent graduate programs. Well, they don't seem to have any problem doing that at Hillsdale or other colleges. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do it. He says, concerned citizens should understand that just because Senate Bill 1 does not enjoy public support doesn't mean that it will not become law. Well, the representatives who will vote it into law are elected by the people. You, Professor Pereira, probably live in one of the progressive neighborhoods in Columbus, and you have one representative to represent you in the House and one in the Senate. Now, they may vote with you because you're probably represented by a Democrat, but Ohio has 88 counties and lots of cities and towns and villages and townships, and each one of those has their own representative, and you are vastly outnumbered, the people who represent you, in both the House and the Senate. That is how democracy works. Maybe they don't teach that in Portuguese classes, but that is how democracy works. So in fact, the bill does have majority support around the state because the representatives who represent those people that you can't identify with, who you no doubt think you are better than and smarter than, and think you can hoodwink with your threats that you won't be able to recruit great students to Ohio State if this passes, because heaven forbid we give them a balanced education. Well, you're going to be sorely disappointed, just as I'm sure you were when the SAFE Act was passed, just as I'm sure you were when Ed Choice passed and people who wanted to send their kids to private schools were given an assist by the state of Ohio with a stipend, which doesn't cover the whole entire public school private school education, but covers most of it. So continue to complain. The Dispatch will no doubt give more and more airtime to this, more and more space on its web pages and in its excuse for a newspaper. But this will pass. It's needed to pass, and I look forward to it passing.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years of the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of a timeshare. At Wesley, we've had 40,000 families cancel their timeshare, and I want to share with you how we do it.
Western Michigan makes a basket with 15 seconds left to go up by 2 in overtime.
We'll get you out of your timeshare.
Ball State comes down, they're running a play, the guy shoots a 3 and misses.
Attorneys,
he gets fouled shooting a 3 with 2 seconds left.
Please don't
he misses the first free throw. They call timeout. He makes